Well, good morning everyone. Well, it's a beautiful morning here this morning in Atherton, and we're heading up to a place called Helenvale for smoko and to catch up with the people who are up there. We've been to Helenvale many times before. It was previously owned by a member of the Aero Club and he sold it, and the new people have turned it into a glamping, airstrip, camping sort of place. So they've got some cabins and chalet type things, and the airstrip is previously was really good, so we'll go up and have a look and see what it's like. Helenvale Airstrip is a carryover name from years ago when the airstrip was located on a cattle station named Helenvale. The property's since been sold several times, but now the property's called Rossville Retreat. The nearest small town is a place called Rossville. Officially, the airstrip is still called Helenvale though. Retreat is about 96 nautical miles in a straight line north of Atherton. We're planning to fly coastal up there and then back inland, but that's if we get away early enough to beat the afternoon turbulence and thermals. If we don't, we'll come back coastal.
Okay. Positive rate of climb, clear of obstacles.
Traffic,
Flaps up.
15 and backtracking, 15 left.
Bird going past underneath. We get a few of those up here. Sometimes quite a lot, and big ones. We get rollers and magpie geese.
Traffic, Jabiru 4916 rolling runway 15.
Atherton traffic. Jabiru Delta Oscar Delta's on downwind 15 for a departure to the north. Atherton traffic.
These good weather weekends really brings out the aircraft. While it was 8/8 blue at Atherton, once we got past Mariba, it didn't take long for us to encounter a thin, broken layer of cloud.
See if I can get up here now.
It was a bit of a problem because we had to stay below 4,500 feet, which is the lower limit of the Cairns Class C airspace. The ground level here is about 1,500 feet, so we didn't get much space to play with. And this cloud was about 4,000 feet, so we got stuck under it for a while until we got a bit further north. It's starting to look a bit problematic ahead. The cloud down toward the coast is thickening up and it's looking a bit low over the escarpment. On top of that, there's a number of fires putting up a wall of smoke to the west, and as we go a bit further, there's a mountain range on the west that will further block us. So if we're going to change direction, we've got to do it now. If I was on my own, I'd probably have a go at getting down to the coast, but with a group of us all together, it'd be pretty dangerous if we headed off under the cloud and then got stuck and then have to turn around and come back into the face of the following aircraft. Time for a command decision, I think, and time to take the easy way out and head west into the clear blue. We can just go up around that smoke and I think we'll have a clear space going west. There's no prizes if we all barrel on in under the cloud and then get stuck.
Perfect, February 1766, we're on shore final.
Once we got level with west of Helenvale, we then had to get back under the cloud. There's plenty of space under it, but it did have a bit of turbulence associated with it.
Big change since I was here last time.
I went for a bit of a run on my one wheel and I was greeted by some of the locals. We were met at the hangar by Dave, who owns Rossville Retreat, and we were treated to a coffee, and then he took us in his minivan and we did the grand tour of the place.
Well, we got Mooksy, he's Harold Taylor, he's our tour guide. 2 weekends ago, fully booked. Yeah. So it's obviously the end of the season. No problem out. So maybe we can fine tune each one. Yeah. So we've done that on purpose for them.
The glamping tents are large and basic, but they're quite comfortable. They have en-suites, a loo with a view, and each tent has its own outdoor camp kitchen. Dave was telling us that with prior warning, they can supply food and drinks for self-cooking, or you can bring your own. If you fly in, you can park your aircraft in front of your tent, and they'll also arrange for a car for you to take, so you can have a look at some of the local sites or to go into Cooktown. Dave took us for a drive down to the Little Annan River, which was a really great picnic area. Unfortunately, as inviting as the water looked, there are some big scaly locals there with big teeth, and they've taken up residence in the water. Like all waterways on the Cape, every pool of water has to be considered to harbour a crocodile. After we'd taken in some of the other sites around the place, we headed back to the plains and loaded up for the trip home. The weather was looking a lot clearer out toward the east, so we decided to give the coastal route a go. The track out to the coast took us over a low ridgeline and past the iconic Black Mountains. These are piles of granite boulders blackened by algae. And the mountains are full of chasms and caves, and there's lots of folklore from the past of lost cattle, horses, and unconfirmed people disappearing into the labyrinths. On these hot days, it's a bit of work for the engine to get the Jabiru up over the ridgeline. But once we got past the ridge, it was a short flight down to the coast. This has to be some of the most beautiful scenery in Australia to fly through.
If you don't want me, baby, you ought to tell me so. If you don't want me, baby, you ought to tell me so.
The hills along here still show hundreds of landslides and erosion from a cyclone that we had about 2 years ago.
Now tell me, baby, what you think of me. Well, now tell me, baby, what you think of me. You ain't been giving me no rest since I've been in Nashville, Tennessee. Gonna sing one more verse and I ain't gonna sing no more. I'm gonna sing one more verse and I ain't gonna sing no more. 'Cause my train is here and you know I gotta go.
About halfway back along the coast, we cross over Cape Tribulation. This is the beginning of the Greater Daintree area, and it's a mix of rainforest, acreage homes in the jungle and tourist resorts. Just south of Cape Trib, I left Martin and I turned a bit inland and crossed over the little town of Cow Bay. As you cross over the range just south of Cow Bay, the Daintree River comes into view, making its way through the mangrove swamps out to the ocean. I did a bit of a low run along the Daintree River just for something different and had a good close look at the river. I never actually saw any crocodiles, but it's full of crocodiles. From the low coastal plain around Daintree, I tracked south down to Port Douglas and then crossed over the escarpment that was now completely clear of cloud and passed over the scattered community of Gelatin. It wasn't long before the fires that we had to dodge around in the morning came back into view. And since we had gone past them, there were now more fires and the originals were now burning in a bigger front. The last one gave us plenty of room to go around it to the east, with Mareeba just behind that and Atherton and home just 10 minutes past that. If you're after a fly-in bush stay, give Dave at Rossville Retreat a call. They're closed over the summer wet season, but open after the wet in about March or April through to October. Check out their website and give him a call.